Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about social media. The word social media actually brings a feeling of dread in our hearts, especially for parents with young children and teens, and even for couples, because somehow social media has taken over our lives. But do you remember when initially it was introduced, when Instagrams were introduced, when Facebook was introduced, and Snapchats? It was very useful. And so let's look at the positive sides of social media before we talk about the negative sides. And then how do we control it in a very short session? What do you think social media was first introduced? It built up community. There was a time we didn't know what was happening across the world, but now because of social media, because of Instagrams, because of Facebook profiles, we know what's happening in USA. We know what's the war going on, actual war situations in other countries, actual social and cultural developments in other countries, whether it's Greece, Italy, whether it's Spain or USA, Bali. So social media has helped in community building and connectivity. Yes, we have got connected. How many trips are being organized where you can go across the world, visit those places, and once upon a time it was not possible, but now you're able to go across the world. You are able to go to Bali, you're able to go to Maldives, you're able to go to see Rome, because of the connectivity, because you get to know what are the things to be seen, and because that curiosity, enthusiasm has built up in us to know the outside world. So it helped in community building, it helped in connectivity. What else? It helped in creating awareness. What do you mean by awareness? Awareness of the various social changes that are occurring across the world, the things that are happening, the developments that are happening in the education system, in the political system, everywhere. And you are the first online listeners because of the social media, because of the connectivity given to us by social media. Creativity. How many of us have learned a lot of things online because of this social media, because of these online sessions? I have recently joined painting birds because I love birding, and I'm enjoying doing that. It's all because of social media. I learned it on an Instagram page and I realized I'm going to apply for it, and I've applied and I've started it just as a hobby. So we are getting into creativity, learning new things, whether it's painting or birding or so many other things, only because of social media. And yes, most important, mental health support. It does provide us. We are able to understand what's happening with others if they're going through depression, if they're going through unhappiness, withdrawal symptoms. They learn what can be done, maybe on their own try to help, or else in the media join groups, anonymous groups, where you're not known, where you don't have to give your name in, but you talk about your problems and see what others have to say. What about the health issues, your diets, all on social media? If you take the right use of it, social media is positive. It gives us positive health. But what happened? Over the years, somehow it has become an obsession. It has become such an obsession that it has started leading into a negative role for all of us. Depression, withdrawal, all this have now become the most important effect of social media. Let's look at some of the negative effects now and to see how it is affecting our lives. Social media, definitely, once it's become an obsession, I've seen it affects our self-esteem. It affects our body image. We start comparing, especially the young teens, the young adults start comparing themselves to the influencers who look so slim and nice, or comparing themselves with some person who is really good in football or basketball, and feel that they are not up to that mark. So it results in a lot of low self-esteem, low self-confidence, and a negative body image. I need to lose weight and I need to be like them. I need to become them, which could be very negative. Another important effect of, or the negative effect of social media is cyberbullying. We know how much it has affected our children, our teenagers. There have been suicides that have been committed. There have been games launched which you have to follow through, which results in suicide. And parents are not aware of it. Children do not tell their parents. So, cyberbullying is one of the most important negative effects of social media. Another important effect I think of obsessive watching the social media is we are losing connectivity. We are started isolating ourselves. There's social isolation. We are staying at home. Only our validation comes from what someone says on the media, someone says on the Insta, or someone says on the various platforms that you're on online. So our validation doesn't come from real people, but those whom we are watching. So we are resulting in social isolation, and communication skills are getting affected. What do I mean by that? When you talk to a person face to face, our body language, the what we address, all these are influenced. We learn how to communicate with each other so that it is positive communication. Whereas when you're communicating on the platforms, there's not much of open expression. It's only typing out things or just talking about various things, not worried about how the other person feels because he's anonymous and you're anonymous. So it results in a lot of low communication skills. Another negative effect of social media is overload of information and misinformation. What do I mean by that? When I talk about overload and misinformation, sometimes we become the good doctors. Sometimes we know what is the problem with us. We go through the illnesses that we have been given and then document it and then go on social media, learn all of it, and then come back to the doctor and say, I know this could happen, that could happen. That's misinformation. Do not rely on social media for what a doctor or a nurse or a teacher could have spent years to get that kind of information. So yes, social media has a lot of negative influences. It kills creativity, it kills friendliness, it kills happiness because you're not interacting with people. You're not even interacting with your parents, your siblings, which used to be wonderful time. Especially I remember in my youth, we all used to spend time talking, enjoying, going out. Trips are also like solo trips. Why? You have family, go with your family. So unless of course you're a single person, then yes. But what I'm saying is social media, when taken as an obsession, it has a lot of negative influences. It leads to a lot of depression. I have clients who come to me saying they're depressed, they're anxious, they've left their jobs, they're not working. They used to be wonderful parents. One lady was a wonderful mother, but now she doesn't want to do anything. She just wants to sit and scroll because it gives her a lovely euphoric feeling, because it's not the real world where she has to think of the cooking or maybe she has to think of the children's education. So we start living in a make-believe world. So social media, once it becomes an obsession, is very negative. So let's talk about what is it we can do to ensure that we enjoy social media and all its positive benefits, but removing or weeding out the negative benefits. So how do we make social media positive in our lives and not negative? A couple of things if we follow, I think we can manage it. Number one, detox from social media. At least in a week, take the decision this coming week, every day, at least 3 hours, I will not watch it. Or maybe 3 hours, I can watch it in the whole day, depending upon the obsession you have, the category of obsession you have with the phone, with the social media. Second, remove things where you're doing mindless scrolling. Start scrolling or start following groups which are useful to you. Like I said, if you have a passion for birding or if a passion for other activities, maybe football, wanting to know the rules of a football or wanting to follow sports in a particular sports, follow them and remove all the other scrolls which you do mindlessly just to see what's happening. So what I'm saying is engage mindfully, not mindlessly. Engage in things that are useful. Engage in things which there is a learning process where you can increase and enhance your creativity. Reflect on things which you feel are not good for you. Maybe it's time to do a self-analysis. Maybe it's a time, am I escaping the real world? Am I going into a make-believe world because of tensions in my family or in my life? No. They don't go away. Believe me, the moment you switch off the media, it comes back. So how about sitting down and addressing the problems in your life, seeing what can be done? Even if you take the first step in addressing whatever problems you have in life, believe me, you won't go into this mindless scrolling of social media. It's social media scrolling is nothing but escaping the real life. Get into the real life. Go to the park, go for a walk, meet your friends over a party, meet your friends over a dinner. What you used to do before. Spend time, go on travels, spend time with your family, take them out. So if we decide and take care of the fact, why am I mindlessly scrolling? Why has it become an addiction? We are strong enough, our mind is strong enough to detox ourselves and decide that social media has only positive effect on me and not a negative. It's all in this mind, believe me friends. If the day you decide, I'm allowing myself to take over my mind and I'm going to decide how it's going to think, we can do it. So have a lovely day and ensure that social media doesn't take over your life. Ensure it's no longer an obsession but a helpful enhancement of your life. Thank you. Have a good day.